Imagine a silent force wreaking havoc inside your body, fueling disease, accelerating aging, and robbing you of vitality. It's a force so pervasive, it could be the hidden link between your stubborn belly fat, aching joints, and even your risk of heart disease or cancer. You might think this is just part of getting older or just bad luck, but what if I told you this silent killer is something you can control? Today, we uncover the truth about the silent inflammation fueled by obesity and explore how you can fight back with simple, powerful changes to your daily habits. Welcome to Levitas. What is chronic inflammation? Chronic inflammation is your body's defense mechanism gone haywire. While acute inflammation is a short-term response to injury or infection, chronic inflammation lingers silently, damaging healthy tissues over time. It's like a fire that never stops burning, fueled by poor diet, stress, lack of exercise, and excess body fat. Chronic inflammation affects nearly every system in your body, from your heart to your brain, silently contributing to diseases like diabetes, arthritis, and even cancer. It's often called a silent killer, because it operates under the radar until it's too late. Understanding its roots is the first step toward regaining control of your health. How obesity causes chronic inflammation. Obesity isn't just about extra weight, it's a complex metabolic condition. Fat cells, particularly visceral fat around the abdomen, aren't inert, they act like mini chemical factories, releasing pro-inflammatory molecules called cytokines. These cytokines trigger low-grade, chronic inflammation throughout the body. Over time, this persistent state of inflammation disrupts normal cellular functions, making obesity a central player in the development of chronic diseases. The more visceral fat you have, the greater the inflammatory response, creating a vicious cycle where inflammation makes it harder to lose fat, and more fat fuels more inflammation. Breaking this cycle is critical for reclaiming your health. Can this inflammation cause heart disease? The link between obesity-driven inflammation and heart disease is profound. Chronic inflammation affects the delicate lining of your blood vessels, called the endothelium, leading to endothelial dysfunction, a precursor to atherosclerosis. As fat cells release cytokines, they promote the buildup of fatty plaques in the arteries, narrowing and hardening them over time. This inflammatory response can also destabilize existing plaques, increasing the risk of life-threatening events like heart attacks or strokes. Additionally, obesity elevates levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation strongly associated with cardiovascular risk. High C-reactive protein levels not only signal inflammation but also actively contribute to blood vessel damage. The heart must work harder to pump blood through narrowed arteries, leading to high blood pressure, a major risk factor for heart failure. Furthermore, chronic inflammation impairs lipid metabolism, raising levels of bad LDL cholesterol and reducing the good HDL cholesterol, which results in a toxic environment where your cardiovascular system becomes a ticking time bomb. By reducing inflammation through targeted lifestyle changes, it's possible to not only halt the progression of heart disease but also reverse some of its damaging effects, proving that the silent killer doesn't have to be your fate. How does inflammation impact the immune system? Your immune system relies on a delicate balance to function properly. Chronic inflammation disrupts this balance, keeping your immune system in a state of constant alert. Over time, this leads to immune dysfunction, where the body either overreacts or fails to respond appropriately to threats. When fat cells release inflammatory cytokines, they recruit immune cells like macrophages to fat tissue. Instead of resolving the inflammation, these immune cells become stuck in a feedback loop, releasing even more inflammatory signals. This chronic immune activation weakens your defenses, making you more susceptible to infections and illnesses. Additionally, persistent inflammation can trigger autoimmune responses, where the immune system mistakenly attacks healthy tissues. Conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and type 1 diabetes are all linked to this process. Inflammation also disrupts the production and function of key immune cells like T cells and natural killer cells, which play vital roles in identifying and destroying pathogens and abnormal cells, including cancer cells. In essence, the chronic inflammation caused by obesity doesn't just weaken your immune system, it weaponizes it against your own body. Reversing this damage requires a focus on reducing inflammation and restoring immune balance. Can obesity inflammation increase cancer risk? The connection between obesity, inflammation, and cancer is alarming. Chronic inflammation creates a microenvironment that supports tumor growth and progression. Cytokines released by fat cells promote oxidative stress, which damages DNA and other cellular structures, increasing the risk of mutations that lead to cancer. In obesity, adipose tissue secretes hormones like leptin, which fuel cell proliferation, a key factor in tumor development. At the same time, reduced levels of adiponectin, a protective hormone, remove a natural barrier against cancer growth. Persistent inflammation also stimulates angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients to tumors. Meanwhile, the immune system, weakened by chronic inflammation, becomes less effective at identifying and destroying cancerous cells. Specific cancers, including breast, colorectal, and pancreatic cancers, are strongly linked to obesity-related inflammation. For example, postmenopausal women with high levels of visceral fat have increased estrogen production, which can fuel hormone-sensitive cancers like breast cancer. By addressing inflammation through diet, exercise, and weight loss, you can significantly reduce your risk. Anti-inflammatory foods like berries, leafy greens, and omega-3 fatty acids are particularly effective at neutralizing the inflammatory environment that encourages cancer growth. Does inflammation from obesity affect joint health? Obesity-related inflammation takes a heavy toll on your joints, particularly weight-bearing ones like the knees and hips. Adipose tissue doesn't just add mechanical stress, it releases cytokines that increase inflammation within the joint space. Over time, this inflammatory environment accelerates the breakdown of cartilage, leading to conditions like osteoarthritis. Visceral fat amplifies systemic inflammation, further degrading the synovial fluid that cushions and lubricates your joints. As cartilage wears down, bones begin to rub against each other, causing pain, stiffness, and reduced mobility. Inflammation also triggers an overproduction of enzymes like matrix metalloprotein ASAs, which degrade cartilage at an accelerated rate. This biochemical assault makes it difficult for joints to repair themselves, perpetuating the cycle of damage. Interestingly, even modest weight loss can significantly reduce joint inflammation. Studies show that losing just 10 pounds can reduce the stress on your knees by 30 to 40 pounds, easing pain and improving function. Pairing weight loss with an anti-inflammatory diet and low-impact exercises like swimming or yoga can help protect your joints and improve overall mobility, proving that every step toward reducing inflammation counts. Anti-inflammatory foods counteract this effect. An anti-inflammatory food plan can be a game-changer for reducing fat weight and reversing the effects of obesity-driven inflammation. By focusing on nutrient-dense, whole foods, you can lower inflammation while promoting fat loss and metabolic health. Key components of an anti-inflammatory diet include omega-3 fatty acids from sources like salmon, walnuts, and flax seeds, which counteract the pro-inflammatory effects of omega-6 fats. Antioxidant-rich foods like berries, whole lemons, and turmeric neutralize free radicals and reduce oxidative stress. Avoiding refined carbs and added sugars is critical, as these fuel insulin resistance and inflammation. Instead, lower your carb consumption, or at least prioritize complex carbs like quinoa, organic oats, and sweet potatoes, which provide sustained energy without excessively spiking blood sugar. Healthy fats from extra virgin olive oil, avocados, and nuts are also essential, as they reduce inflammation and support cellular health. Adding fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, and kimchi can improve gut health, which is closely tied to inflammation levels. Protein is the key building block for our bodies. It's essential to have an adequate intake of protein every day, as it helps repair and rebuild our systems. Beef, chicken, turkey, fatty fish, and eggs are great sources of protein. What is the best part of this kind of foods? This food plan doesn't just reduce inflammation, it accelerates fat loss by improving insulin sensitivity and stabilizing blood sugar levels. Combined with regular exercise, adequate sleep, and stress management, it's a powerful strategy to combat obesity and its silent, inflammatory toll on your body. In conclusion, chronic inflammation and obesity form a dangerous duo that silently disrupts your body's health. Inflammation acts as an unrelenting fire, fueled by poor lifestyle choices and excess visceral fat, which triggers cytokine release and perpetuates systemic damage. This inflammatory state paves the way for heart disease by impairing blood vessels, weakens immune defenses, and fosters an environment where cancer thrives. Additionally, it accelerates joint degradation, amplifying pain and stiffness. Yet, there's hope. Adopting an anti-inflammatory diet rich in omega-3s, antioxidants, proteins, and whole foods can reverse these effects, reduce fat weight, and restore balance, proving that small changes can yield transformative health benefits. Thank you for tuning in to Levitas. Please share today's video with friends and family, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to receive notifications for future videos. Your support is appreciated. It helps us grow and create more content to empower your health. Remain tuned to Levitas for more expert advice on your health and fitness journey. So, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep going.